Hello there, hope you're doing alright. Today is the 1st of December and I am in Berlin, Germany. I did a show yesterday and I still have to do one show tomorrow. But today I'm taking the opportunity of being in Berlin to speak about one of my next projects. Now, every year usually I write a new show. If I'm not on the stage, I write for other people, and when I get the ideas of an idea for a show, for example, I just take some time ruminating over the idea, and I think whether emotionally that show will work. Now I do silent comedy, but I also do written shows, spoken word shows, and one of the shows I'm working on for the next season, it's for a woman. It's a solo show. She's bilingual, Italian and German, and the show has to do with Berlin. Now, right now I am in Hermannplatz, okay, what you see right here, it's Karstadt, which is like this famous store. And the idea for this show came from a book I read. It actually sort of appeared in my hands something like 5 years ago, I think. I can't remember right now. And the title of the book is A Woman in Berlin, Eine Frau in Berlin. April 1945, July 1945. They actually made a film from this book, a German film produced by Constantin Film, but I didn't like the film in particular, but I really love the book. And this story I'm going to write, of course, as a woman, as a center in the story. It's loosely based on the book because the book is about basically the invasion by Russians of Berlin, the conquest of Berlin. And it was an untold story up until recently. So basically what the Russians did for a couple of months, they serially raped all German women as they were advancing from East Germany to the capital. In total, I think 1 million women were raped, about 10,000 women committed suicide. And this book, it's a real story of this woman who actually published the book as anonymous, so she didn't want her name to appear on the cover of the book. It's a real diary of what happened during the first months of the Russian occupation. So it's like the diary of Anne Frank in a way, but written by a German. And it really is a punch in the stomach, the book. So to make a long story short, basically what happened, at one point this woman, in order not to commit suicide, she decided to become the lover of a Russian major who will protect her from other Russians. And this is one side of the story. But really I wanted to tell the story of the fall of Berlin, which is very interesting because here in this square, Hermannplatz, the last men standing against the Russians were not Germans, but were French. And not too many people know that story. And I'm speaking about a brigade which is called the Charlemagne Brigade. 12,000 people, 6,000 of them died in Pomerania. It's an SS brigade, by the way, Waffen SS. But it was manned by French. And the 6,000 of them died in Pomerania, which is the border with Poland. And then the other 6,000 fought here in Berlin, up to the last man standing. I think like 40 actually returned alive. 12 of them were shot, executed by Charles de Gaulle. Another 6 or whatever survived. And it's an incredible story. Just because it kind of shows you how history is complicated and it's not black and white at all. Now, I like history, and one thing that you kind of discover when you study history is that, we study history in the West as being basically led by leaders. So it's usually single persons and, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Augustus, Mao Zedong, you name it. And it seems that the people around them just don't exist. But I have another vision of history, which is much more seen as a way history is told in the East. So it's the people that create the leader, not vice versa. So speaking about the Second World War in Germany, there's a famous book written by an English economist, Kingsley.
Well, I have to stop that guy who's talking in that video because that's actually incorrect. The name is John Maynard Keynes, but I was tired and it was very cold in Hermannplatz and I didn't get any sleep for a day. So, not Kingsley, but Keynes. Right now, I'm in the United Emirates in an airport. So as you can see, I travel quite a lot next to India. But anyway, from 0 degrees to 27, just a short leap. But let's continue with the video.
He actually studied the Versailles Treaty in depth from an economic point of view. And I read the book, and in 1919 he said, if these are the conditions, Germany will have to fight another war. Because under the conditions set by the Versailles Treaty, 10 million Germans will have to die of hunger. That's what he said, and that's what he wrote. And I'm saying this because the Second World War cannot be explained just as a crazy man named Adolf Hitler coming to power and waking up from the wrong side of the bed and wreaking havoc in the whole of Europe. It just doesn't work that way. So it was not Hitler in a way that created Germany, but it was Germany that was looking for somebody like him, because the Versailles Treaty was just untenable. It just could not work out for Germany. I know it may create some scandal with us saying, but as people are dying and all of these events are entering the shadow of history, we're able to see this from a different perspective. And this is important, especially when you consider what is happening nowadays. So back to the show. This book really, hit a chord. A woman's story in occupied Berlin. History seen from the point of view of the losers, in a way. And then I read yet another book, which is titled The Fall of Berlin. I'm sorry, I don't remember the writer right now. I'm shooting these videos on the spur of the moment. But the history of the Charlemagne Brigade, it really hit me as well. 12,000 French soldiers fighting, in a way, to defend the Reichstag in the last days of Berlin. So, and it all happened here, in this square, Hermannplatz. And that's what I find funny about Berlin. There is a certain shamanic vibration about this city, unconsciously, you can kind of feel that this happened. And then, as then the Russians, of course, occupied East Germany. East Germany was basically part of the Soviet Empire, so to speak. Okay? The Berlin Wall and so on and so forth. So that's how I usually start telling the story. It must be something intriguing, something that really interests me, something with some kind of social theme. Fortunately, raping war is something very common. So that's the story I wanted to tell. In this particular case, I really wanted to investigate also psychological warfare. That is to say, war fought not with weapons, but war fought with psychological means. And when you speak about communism, psychological warfare plays a big part in it. Just look at what happened in Cambodia, for example, and Pol Pot, and so on and so forth, Ceausescu, all right? It's a story which is untold nowadays, and if you ask young people in their 20s, they have no idea what the Cold War was. No idea whatsoever. They just don't realize what it was. And I was in Berlin in 1988, so I did see East Germany 1 year before the fall of Berlin. Anyway, sorry, I'm sharing this with you. So what I'm going to do, this incredible actress lives in Tuscany, in the center of Italy, and we'll be speaking about this project. So once I have a good start and a good end, then I commit to the story. And once I commit, I never quit. That's another thing. So, because otherwise you're going to quit. And this is one or two projects I need to finish this year. The other one is not going to be a stage project, it's a documentary. But hopefully I should finish it. So, as I progress with this story, I'm going to tell you what is going to happen. I'm going to show you how I build shows. And let's see how far this show goes. All right? Like I said, I like history. Another show I wrote last year was Caligula, which is about Emperor Caligula, and you could look it up on my website. Having said that, I'm just going to enjoy Berlin. It's a beautiful day today, really beautiful, sunny. And here from Hermannplatz, where the soldiers of the Sharman Brigade fought to the last man. I'm just gonna wish you a good day and stay strong.